added to the workforce, and the salaries are going up. So that is give you a perspective of how the STEM field is. Yes.
Can I interrupt? I want to let everybody know we're going to have both presentations on our website. And also, feel free to ask questions. If you have a burning question you want to ask them, feel free to jump in. Sorry.
So, the governor, the superintendent have realized that there is a need for these jobs. The governor and superintendent realized that the education system as we know it when we were in the school is probably not good enough to produce the kind of student, the kind of person that we want in order to fill these kind of jobs. So they have worked together in order to try to move Georgia into a system of an education system that emphasizes the ideas of STEM. There are three types of STEM schools or programs that we are looking for in Georgia. There is the exclusive STEM school. That's a magnet school in which students are selected to participate in that program. They go there, they apply, they get in, and the job, the work is basically related to STEM. The whole program is about STEM. Generally, those are selected programs. There is the inclusive STEM school, in which the STEM school becomes part of the whole community of the school. There is not really a strong difference between the students that attend the school. All of them are exposed to the same kind of program that is aligned to the STEM ideas of that particular school. And then we have the career academies that also is centers of education that focus on a particular idea or particular goal around STEM education. So how is that program looks like in Georgia? Students in Georgia have the opportunity to attend, as I said before, three different types. This is the definition of a STEM program. So these are the characteristics that we will look for. When we go to a school and we look at what they are doing, we want to see a school that designs an education program around the STEM ideas and incorporates all the students into that process. We are looking for non-traditional participation of the students. So if the school has certain demographics, we would like to see the same demographics represented in the school STEM program. We want to see a specific curriculum, a specific way of teaching things that is different from everybody else's. One thing that we recognize is that education has to be a good education. And there are schools out there doing a very good job of educating their students that do not have the STEM banner attached to them. And that is okay. Schools are not good because they are STEM schools. Schools are good because they are good schools, because the type of work that they do with their students. Besides that, if a school is looking to be recognized as STEM, that means that they have to be doing something different, something that goes beyond the preparation of the regular program. And that's what we are looking for. So that uniqueness that will make that school special. We look for the workforce of those schools to be 100% certified in the area that they are teaching. And that, as I said before, that is sometimes not possible, especially if you're looking for teachers in the areas of physics and chemistry, because we don't have enough of them. So sometimes teachers move from other areas and they are not fully certified in their content area. But as long as they are working towards their certification or they are already certified, That's what we are looking in a STEM program. So the Department of Education Council says this is a STEM school. That is basically a seal saying all the teachers in this area are teaching in their area of strength, and they are moving forward in that area. We're looking, one of the things that we see when we study other education programs across the world is that teachers have, in other countries, the opportunity to work together. You know, if any of you is a teacher or have been a teacher, you know that you come to school, and in my mind, when I was teaching, this is what I think. I have prepared the education lessons of my students probably for during the summer or during the weekend. The first 6 hours of that day when I'm teaching, basically I'm using everything that I prepared, and everything has to start all over again at 9. But you are tired of that. So there has to be some opportunity for teachers to work together, to collaborate, to develop new ideas to teach the content. So that's what we're looking for. This is basically what we're looking to see. And then we want students that are able to complete some kind of pathway in the STEM areas. And that pathway could be anything. It could be an academic pathway in which the student takes advanced courses in mathematics, in science, that it could be a technological pathway in which a student goes into, for example, some career in engineering or computer science. But we are looking for students that are not going to do kind of okay, I want to test this, I want to test that, test something else here, and at the end of the day, they don't have any really strong understanding of anything that they tested. So that's what we're looking for. As I said before, we are looking for students that take advanced courses. There is a strong need, especially when the students move from high school to college, for them to be ready for the requirements of high Title I or Type 1 universities and colleges. And most of them will require students to have the skills necessary to tackle calculus, physics, chemistry, and not at the introductory level. So we're looking for preparing students that have those requirements. Just let me give you a parenthesis here, because it's very interesting to notice that one of the myths that exists out there is that colleges and universities require a particular set of courses to get admitted into them. Actually, very few colleges and universities require any advanced courses. They require students to have the skills to be successful in the courses that they are going to be involved in. But there is not really a strong requirement for example, having students have taken chemistry, biology, or physics in order to move on into college. When you look at the admission processes, that is not really a requirement of colleges and universities. So that's very interesting. When we look at schools, we look for partnerships. Partnerships with the community, with post-secondary, that are supporting the work that that school is doing. The schools are part of the community, so we have examples of that. One example is over here. This is an engineering company that was working with an elementary school in Ecab. This is, I think it's High Tower Elementary. The teachers there wanted to have the kids engage in some outside classroom activities, and they wanted to connect those with science. So they talked to an engineering company that was working with them, and they developed this irrigation system that allowed the students to basically work with this garden that they put there and study different things, from the amount of water that is necessary for the growth of these plants, to the amount of sunlight, to phenomena how water can be collected from these tanks and then distributed to the whole garden that they have. So that's the type of partnerships that we want to see evolving for this. We want to see students involved in competitions, and there are plenty of those out there. The career technical education, agricultural and education area has a lot of competitions that are available for students. And also we have math and science specific competitions. Probably the more useful or more common to hear is the robotics competitions that are conducted through Georgia Tech sometimes, or the University of Georgia, or the Lego competitions that are funded by Lego, the Lego company. We want to see students engage in performance assessment. This goes to the idea that assessment is not a test that you take at the end of the day or the end of the year. Assessment is something that happens constantly in the classroom. So we want the students to see involved in some kind of problem, that is going to be used as a part of the assessment process. And we want to see STEM integration. We don't want to see, we want to see that students, when they go to school, they kind of lose their connection between which class they are taking. Are they mathematics, are they science, are they English language arts? Really what we would like to see is that those divisions disappear and the students are immersed in this environment in which they are pushed to discover, to engage in research, to do something with the things that they are learning. So those silos are broken down. As part of the schools that we visit, we expect them to have some area in which we call these STEM labs, in which the students and teachers kind of work together to make learning alive, and not just, as you are right now, just sitting down there while somebody is talking. We want to see the opportunity for students to be able to go out into the workforce and do internships, or have the opportunity to do capstone projects. That's something that is a key component that we think is very important for our seniors or juniors to be able to go out of the school and get involved in the real world with real responsibilities of completing some kind of program. And we want to see effective classroom integration of technology. Not just the use of technology, but use it effectively to produce something. And that's technology. So, how are we going to measure this? Well, this is the problem that we have right now. The STEM initiative started in Georgia about 4 years ago, but really took off probably the last 2 years. And the Department of Education designed this program as trying to recognize STEM schools. So we have visited several schools across the state in the last 2 years. These are the schools that met the requirements that I just described to you. As you can see, there are 9 of them. I think I have one of them there. 3, 6, 7. I'm missing probably 8 of them. But look where they are. This is Georgia. This is where those schools are right now. Do you see a problem? So it is our goal, a very ambitious goal in the department, to do this. In the next 3 years, and actually now it's 2.5 because we started this program about half a year ago, we want to see 300 STEM schools in Georgia. And the interest is there. Schools want to do this. They just need to figure out and need a little help how to do it. But this is the areas here represent those the squares represent the schools that have shown interest in becoming STEM schools across Georgia. The colors indicate the degree or the level in which they are. Schools that are in red are schools that are almost there, that we will go and visit, and hopefully in the next 6 months or so, we'll join these schools that are in blue are probably a year to 2 years away of becoming a STEM school, and schools that you see in green here with the white, basically empty square, are schools that are just beginning to realize that that's what they want to do, so they're putting the things together. Yes?
There's a nine schools there, so they are STEM schools. Now, how do you define STEM school? And I'm also wondering how come Dr. English school is now part of this nine?
Okay, the definition of a STEM school is basically all those characteristics that I mentioned before. That's what we are looking for. So when we go to the schools basically fill a form that said, tell us we think that we are ready to become a STEM school. Okay, so then we go and visit them. Generally, it's my partner, Dr. Gilda Lyon, that comes there and goes visit the school, talks to the teachers, talks to the principal, looks what is going on, and gives some initial feedback. If they go beyond that, then Dr. Lyon and myself put together a group of people from business community, from the university system, from the Department of Education, from the Career Technical Agricultural area, and we go and visit the school and look for all those characteristics that I mentioned before. If not all of them need to be present, but they need to be evident at a certain point. We do have an instrument that we use to measure or to identify those characteristics when we visit. And if the committee gets together after the visit, and if they think that they saw enough evidence that this school is doing something that is completely different from what should be happening in the school anyway, then that's when they receive the banner, because that's all that they get. They get a banner and a pat on the back from the superintendent saying you're doing a great job, you are recognized as a STEM school in Georgia. Okay? So those are the 9. And these schools right here are the ones that are in the process of becoming there. As you will see, we have about 195 school districts in Georgia that are interested in becoming a STEM, or having at least one STEM, or sometimes the whole school district becoming a STEM school. That's about 46% of school districts in Georgia that are doing this at this time. So how we support these activities across Georgia? We have done different things, from Georgia STEM festivals, that is basically opportunities for students to come and participate and be in contact with scientists from universities, from researchers, from different communities, to STEM institutes that are for teachers. We have had 4 of them, one in Atlanta for 2 years, one in Savannah for 2 years. We do Exploring STEM Schools Design Conference that was conducted in Kennesaw, in which schools that are not STEM schools at this time go and talk basically with the schools that have already been identified as STEM schools. Let me just go back to your question. There are schools in Georgia that are probably not interested in being recognized as STEM, but they are doing STEM things. Okay? So we need to keep all that in mind. The ones that I mentioned here are the ones that have asked for the department to be recognized as such. There are other schools that probably they do things a little bit different, and they think that our definition really doesn't fit the work that they are doing, and that's the reason that they don't show in there. We have done STEM Without Borders, that basically what we have done is partnership with some universities. Mercer has been a good partner here, Georgia Tech. What we do is take students to the campus, expose them to the campus, to the university life, to talk to the professors, to talk to the researchers there, to talk to graduate students and to other students, and see what things work at the university level. What is the expectation? What is what they will need to do in order to get there? So that's the day they go back to the schools and they have a project to complete as a result of that. One of the things that we have identified in a STEM is that there are some groups, especially girls, that are underrepresented. We don't have enough female participation in STEM groups. So there is a focus, not just at the state level, but at the national level, about involving girls in STEM initiatives.
Do you know why? Why the girls are not?
Do I know why? No, I do not know why. I can tell you what is the research is saying about this. And basically, it's part of the culture in which we have been embedded to. There are horror stories about how teachers in their classes unintentionally, unintentionally, basically segregate different groups just by tradition, just by preconceptions of what they are capable or not capable of doing. My wife is an engineer, and she tells a story when we talk about these issues. She was in middle school, and she wanted to take the advanced mathematics class. Her parents were very supportive of the decision, and they put her in the advanced class. However, the teacher, the first thing that said is, okay, you girls go back there, to the back of the classroom, and I will get to you as soon as I can. And he had all the white boys in front of him teaching them, and paid very little attention to the girls back in the classroom. And that was probably something that he did intentionally or unintentionally. And notice that I say he. Most of the teachers are also males. So that's part of the situation that we have there. But there is a lot of information about why this has happened. But now we realize that there is a problem and there is a need to fix it. And there is a lot of programs that are supported involving girls in, especially in engineering. That is what I do. Another example I have, this is from my personal upbringing. When I went to school, most of my classmates were male because I was in a physics group and there were very few females around. However, if you go to the mathematics department, there were more female mathematicians than there were male mathematicians in the group. So that was very interesting also. We have been able to, with collaboration with NASA, to bring astronauts, actually astronaut Dr. Dottie Metcalf Lindenberg here to Georgia. She went and visited several schools. We have worked with the State Georgia Teachers Academy through the summers. We are working in developing of this Georgia STEM Forum. That will be an open forum for basically teachers, but it could be community also to come and learn more about what Georgia is doing in the STEM fields, of what the ideas of STEM education are all about. We have developed the Georgia STEM Day that the governor actually has proclaimed a couple of times. The first one was in 2013. We have one in 2014, and we hope we will have one in 2015 and so on. We have just started the Georgia Power Teachers Laureate. And what that is trying to motivate, to engage teachers in doing things in the STEM area in the classrooms, independently if the school is STEM or not STEM, but just doing things that are STEM related. And they are getting, so those of you probably that know a little more about technology and how things work, they're getting badges, electronic badges, that they will receive, like honor badges, to like the scouts receive for the work that they are doing. So hopefully, and Georgia Power has come up with some awards for these teachers, and we are looking for companies that will support that, and they will provide them awards to those teachers for the work that they do. So in general, if you want to learn anything about Georgia STEM, we have a work area in the virtual world, a web page that is called stemgeorgia.org, and you will find any information that you have about STEM, any questions that you have about STEM, probably answer them depending on the question that you have. My co-partner in crime, Dr. Gilda Lyon, she likes tweet things. She wants to have as many tweets as I don't know, some big singer that she likes. And so she likes people to tweet her, and that's her Twitter address. And you can tweet her, and she responds very quickly to things that you tweet her. So this is our contact information of the Department of Education. We will be very happy to answer any questions. We're more happy if you get involved with us and help us move forward in this initiative. It's basically, as you see, two of us working with everybody else, but we have a lot of support from not just the schools that have been identified, or leadership in those schools that have been identified for STEM schools, but some business community that are also very involved in trying to see Georgia moving forward in those fields. So I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that's...
Anybody have a question? If you don't, can I ask a question? You mentioned by 2018, they would need 1 million nurses. Do we know how much nurses makes? Because you showed the engineer making 53,700, which very much agree with what my son was making in 2010. And I'm curious about nurses.
Yeah, I don't know the number. I don't know how much they make. I know that they make different amounts depending on the level of which they are. Actually, my mother-in-law is a nurse, so I could ask her how much
Anybody
they
know?
make.
Maybe Dr. Mo?
They make average about 50 to 80,000 dollars. Depending upon the shift. For example, from 7 to 3 and 3 to 11, the night shift 11 to 11 they want. These are high money.
You say making 50 to 80,000 with a 4 years nursing degree.
You mentioned about those programs. Do you have some kind of like a summer program? Do you have any information like a summer program or something for the student can attend? And where we can find those information, like a summer program or maybe like internship, something like that?
Yes, the Department of Education does not have any summer program because we don't have teachers working for that. But we do have information about programs that are available, and we generally post that information in georgiastandards.org. This website, stemgeorgia.org. So if you go there, there is a link there that talks about resources and opportunities. And generally, if a university or a group tell us that they have a program during the summer for a particular group of students, you can go there and you will find that information there. So we, at the department, we do more the dissemination of information than running the programs ourselves, okay, during the summer.
Thank you very much, Dr. I think Dr. he provide from the state level, which got a lot of very interesting from the state level. But I was kind of surprised. I only see like a nine school certified. So, but as you mentioned, some schools are doing that. I know like Walton High School, Northview, Johnson Creek, they probably are doing that, but they probably just don't want to go through the paperwork, right, to get certified. Maybe we can have Dr. England discuss why his school wasn't on the list. But before I bring you up, Keith and I, we play tennis together. And then while playing tennis, we were talking, he was doing, his iPhone was doing a lot of work. I said, wow, this tennis guy must be very savvy on technology. Then I found out he's the principal for the school. And then we talked more, and then I realized he's doing a lot of things. He's trying to teach his elementary school how to coding program at the elementary level. And he also have a bring your own device program. So the 5th grade can bring your iPad, iPod, whatever, Android. And then I think starting at the 5th level, then move down, right? So it's great to have a teacher actually share the experience. He has been in the school district for about 31 years. 15 years as a teacher, then 16 years as a principal or assistant principal. So let's give Dr. Ingram a nice word to share his experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First, I want to say thank you for the offer, and I'm very excited to be here, but I also want to say thank you to my lovely wife, Ruth, who drugged herself over here with me, so thank you for coming this afternoon. We'll be celebrating our 33rd year anniversary, so that's next Friday, so we're very excited about that too. Dr. Aguilera gave you a 40,000-foot view of STEM in Georgia. I'm going to try and give you a boots-on-the-ground kind of what might happen in my school or what's something you could have happen in your school where you're at right now. Right now it's semantics and terminology, but really you can see STEM activities if you just look for it. And some of the things that you're doing today or tomorrow or the next day are STEM-like. It's just you have to have that perspective piece. In defense, we were given the proclamation, so to speak, that we were going to be a STEM school, so they put that in the title of the school. And in my district, I'm from Cherokee County School District, which is a little bit north of here by about 45 minutes. In Cherokee County, we have 40,000 students in our school district, and we have 45 schools in our district. So myself and there's 4 STEM academies in our district. Myself is one at Ball Ground Elementary, and our sister school is Clark Creek Elementary. We're just separated by a few miles, and our superintendent has given both us and the other 3 schools in our district that are STEM schools that we will become STEM certified through the State Department. So they tapped Clark Creek first, and then in a sense we jumped in line to be second in our district to become STEM certified. So a lot of things that Dr. Aguilera has shared already, we're already in place and doing. We're sort of having to wait in turn to get in line to go through the state and through our own district so that we meet all those protocols. But we're real excited. So we have a little STEM logo there that we have all over our building. Is that the last one? There it is. We have a little STEM logo house that we have all over the building in our school. We do a lot of the branding. That's why I wear my jacket and have all that for the kids to see and experience. This is our facility. It's a brand new building. This will be the beginning of our 3rd year. It is, from one, it just looks like the front of a little small school, but if you get up high, it's got 3 long wings that go way, way back that you can't even hardly see to the hallway. But then underneath each of those 3 large canopies there is a whole other series of classrooms. So we basically are on 2 stories. So many, many thousands of square feet. And then in the back we have a large gymnasium, a large atrium, a large cafeteria. So for the community that we live in, they're very excited, very proud of it. It's the only school in that community because we're a little bit further rural as compared to a place like Walton High School where they have a school every 1.5 miles of all kinds of shapes and sizes. But this picture, I will point out, was not taken by an architect or a typical pilot, but we had a scientist come in and did a presentation with us last year, and he allowed students to fly drones, the little helicopters. And then he got his $25,000 drone out and let the teachers manage the camera part while he did the flying part because he wouldn't let anybody touch his machine, which I didn't blame him at all. But that picture there was taken with a drone, not a typical flyby by an airplane. Obviously, we've already covered what the science, engineering acronym means. The broader sense is technology is pretty much anything that you are doing or having. Like technology really is a sense from your clothing to the glasses you wear to the watch that you have. Any of that is technology. What you'll see is your young people and young adults will start to experience are some of the things that you'll see here where the students are sitting in a collaborative group. You know, they're on a team. They've been given a challenge or a task where they're trying to solve the problem, where the teacher sort of steps back after that problem is given, and then the students have to work together as a group, much like you would as an adult, and then they have to come up with a solution with whatever parameters they've been given. A lot of times it's time, a lot of times it's resources, sometimes it's some kind of problem that you have to solve. So these students here are working off of their laptops, and they have the connecting devices and iPads and everything else, and then when they're ready to present, they can throw that up on this large screen in front of them for everybody to see, because as you probably well know, the students that are in our room today, and the ones that are your nephews and nieces and everyone else, they're very, very tech savvy. They're considered to be digital natives, whereas we speak with a little bit of an accent technology-wise, because we're having to pick this up. We have been around, you know, in the 80s. They're very proficient. They can thumb faster than you can talk, you know, and they're very proficient. Again, this is a huge statistic from the National Science Foundation. It basically states that 80% of the jobs created in the next decade will require some form of math or science skills. So if you're trying to hide, there's no reason to hide anymore. You really need to keep a focus on your math and science skills. But a bit of advice to any of the young people that are here today, from what I've learned, I would spend more time listening to my English language arts teacher or my science or social studies teacher than my basketball coach. I rarely shoot a free throw anymore in my daily walk, but I'm always writing and learning and working and reading and writing and sending emails. So I try to pay more attention to my language arts teacher. Some of the STEM education is going to be more important than ever before. We're going to increase your chances of being successful in college and in the workplace. And I guess selfishly, we don't want to see the U.S. fall behind in these innovations, because a lot of the things that come out of STEM is